Hello. Yeah. This is expected questions in an interview with Coal India Limited for, say, HR managers. For HR managers, what type of questions can we expect? I'm going to attempt now and try to tell you. Okay. Yeah. So that is what I'm trying to speak out now. Yeah. Um, See, the HR relations. Yeah. See, the voice is coming. Yeah. Um, Now, first of all, let us take a person is attending interview for HR manager. So, as the person goes into the room, properly dressed with a positive attitude, and he goes and wishes them good morning or good afternoon. They will offer him a seat. Then the person takes the seat. The interviewers will, first of all, invariably ask you to tell about yourself. First thing will be tell about yourself. Here, what you can do is you can tell about, say, your MBA or whatever the highest degree you have done. Start from there. And of course, you must be having HR as one of the subjects. So tell them that you completed MBA or whatever it is with HR and subjects, scoring this much percentage of marks. If you have scored somewhere around 70 plus, you can mention the marks, otherwise, don't mention. Then after that, you tell them about the graduation you had and the junior college or plus two and 10th where you studied, which school and in which place. You elaborate about that. And after telling about it, you can tell, say, about your native place. What is your native place? What for is it important from the angle of business? From the angle of business, and um, say you can tell that, and thereafter you can tell about what are your strengths and highlighting on why you want to get into Coal India Limited in HR as HR manager. You will tell about that also. And if you have some technical skill, you can tell about that. You can also highlight about the strengths which are necessary for, say, you are being considered for HR post. That is a very important thing. So, for example, leadership qualities, problem solving, quick learner, then group behavior, then creativity, some of these motivating others, like that. These points you can try to tell the interviewers. Okay. Once you tell about that, invariably the next question will come on about, I'm talking about HR questions. The questions can be, why are you interested in human resources role? Of course, first ask you is, why did you take HR as your subject in the post graduation? So why are you interested in human resources role? What interpersonal skills are important in this role? What do you think is the biggest challenges of this role? What HR systems you are familiar with? Which type of HR systems are you familiar with? But being a fresher, you may not be fully conversant with some systems. And if you know something, you can tell. Tell me about a time when you were overwhelmed by your workload and how you overcame it. What is your biggest strength? Then um, tell me about a time when you coached someone. Say, when you were teaching somebody else. When you were teaching somebody else. That's what they are asking. Can you tell me about a time when you had to convince a colleague that your idea was a good one? How do you stay up to date on country's labor laws and HR regulations? Next point, why should we hire you for this position? Very simple. These are all simple questions to ask, but difficult to explain. They can also ask you, tell me about a recent experience you had handling a grievance issue. Tell me about a recent situation where you had to counsel an employee on discipline. These questions will be asked for people who are already working. Those who are not working, they may not ask. Yeah. Describe a situation where confidential information was shared inappropriately within the organization. So here, maintaining confidentiality is the most important thing. You should not commit yourself by telling you told something. Yeah, these are some of the questions. And some other questions that can be asked can be like this. I will go into that. HR questions. Yeah. I can tell you some more HR. And apart from this, I can also tell you about general questions they can ask. General questions which I have already given you in the handout I have given, and I have posted that in many videos also. Yeah, I will come to that. Yeah, 1 minute. Most common interview questions. These are very not simple questions, but you must prepare. For example, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Why are you interested in joining CIL? Where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? Then, if there is a gap in your education, and then now they can ask you why there is a gap. What can you offer us that someone else cannot? What are the three things a former manager would you like to improve on? That is, what are the three qualities in somebody who has been a manager which you would like to improve on? Are you willing to relocate? Are you willing to travel? And then tell me about an accomplishment you are most proud of. Tell me about a time you made a mistake. What is your dream job? How did you hear about this position? What would you look to accomplish in the first 30 days or 60 days or 90 days? Tell us about your resume. Discuss your educational background. Describe yourself. Describe yourself. Some interviewers ask you to tell in 5 sentences or a few sentences. In some cases, some interviewers ask you to tell, say, in 5 points. Some of this is a very tough one. How will you describe yourself by one word? Optimist, pessimist, likewise, creative person. Something positive you have to tell. Something positive you will have to tell. Yeah. Again, the same question was asked earlier. Why that is this job? Would you like to work on holidays? How would you feel, or how would you deal with an angry customer? Then give a time when you went above and beyond the requirements for a project. Who are our competitors, Coal India competitors? Then what motivates you? Since when you can join the job? Since when you can join the job? Who is your mentor or role model? Tell me a time when you disagreed with your boss. How do you handle pressure? Then what is the name of CEO of Coal India Limited? Then what are your career goals? What gets you up in the morning? What would your direct report say about you? What were your boss's strengths and weaknesses? If I called your boss right now and asked him, what would he tell about you? Are you a leader or a follower? What was the last book you read? What are your hobbies? What is your favorite website? What makes you uncomfortable? What are some of your leadership experiences? How would you fire someone, that is, remove someone from the job? What do you like the most and the least about working in this industry, coal industry? Would you work for 40 plus hours a week? What questions I have not asked you? What questions do you have for me? Likewise, these questions can be asked in an interview situation. The questions are appears to be easy, but then you must try to present yourself properly, because based on the answer you are giving, the next question will be asked. So be prepared for all these questions. Apart from that, you go through the website of Coal India Limited and get to know further details about your job role, and also general aspects about how many regional officers, how many zonal officers, then what are the products they are dealing, what is the profit they have made, what are the projects in which they are doing very well, what is the corporate social responsibility of Coal India Limited. Likewise, you go through these points and get to know in detail about Coal India Limited. And in one or two interviews, they asked, have you visited a coal mine? If you say no, then they are not visited. Are you not interested in working with us? Something like that. So, if you face such a questions, you must be able to manage nicely. So these are some of the questions that can be asked to an HR related, say, interviewee when he goes for Coal India Limited. And also you must be going to the newspaper. They can ask you about newspaper reports, latest newspaper reports, news items which you have come across. Like for example, today's news is Rajnikant is not starting a party. Likewise, so you can try to talk about that also. These are some of the points I thought I should share with you. Maybe we'll meet some other time afterwards. If any questions are there, you can ask. Anybody is there online with some questions? If you have some questions to ask, you can ask. Anybody? HR, of course, so far in our Coal India Limited, nobody with HR has come for interview. So I thought I should try to give you those questions, so that now nearly you have got about 60 to 70 questions. You can prepare on the answers for these. That will help you to face any interview. Any questions from anybody? Nobody? Thank you. Best wishes.